Yeah, Coach. There was a lot of talk coming out of practice on Friday that you guys really went at it hard, had a really long, grueling practice right before the Wisconsin game. I'm curious if you guys have you found like that you have to coach this team in a different way to get them to play the way you want them to play?
We always have pretty grueling practices. I mean, eh, that wasn't nothing new. We just went a little longer in terms of trying to really prep and get ready for Wisconsin. But our practices are pretty much the same every day in terms of, and I try to challenge. I think Geronimo was the guy that I challenged right before the Wisconsin game that day, and I thought he responded.
Todd Golden.
Mike, your last two road games, you started very well at Iowa. Penn State, you started okay. It was just a matter of sustaining what you started. In your experience, what does this team need to do to sustain, throughout all 40 minutes of a game on the road?
Well, you just said it. You got to put a 40-minute ball game together. You can't play in spurts on the road. And the one thing I do know, when you play on the road, you got to defend and rebound the basketball and not turn it over. Those three in that order. And if you do that, then you give yourself a chance to win.
Tom, do you think we can get you now?
Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
All right, just headsets off. We had a chance to talk to Miller in a little bit here, Coach, and I wanted to get your insights on something. On Saturday's game, it was 26 minutes on the floor for him before he even took a shot, and 28 minutes before he made one. Especially with X and Race out, and as good a perimeter shooter as he is, do you need to try to run more actions or screens off the ball or whatever to try to get him more looks to help this offense a little bit?
Guys, they're not leaving him. So, when he gets good looks, we just hope that he can knock them down. It ain't about utilizing him. I run a couple plays for him here and there, but my focus just ain't just on Miller. Everybody's got to play a role. When you got shots, you got to be ready to knock them down. For some reason, he's not getting a lot of shots because they're not leaving him, and I wouldn't leave him either. So coming out of the double team, when Trace is being double teamed, the rotations to him are a lot quicker, based on who we're playing. So he's just, he's capable of putting it down 2 or 3 dribbles and escape dribbles and getting shots. That's something that he might have to, do more if he get the opportunity. But I'm just not here to create a lot of shots for just Miller. I mean, I'm not here to do that. But I think our offense flows where everybody touches the basketball and get an opportunity to shoot the ball.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're doing well. When you just talk about having like grueling practices, could you just give a little bit more insight, I guess, on what that entails? Like what in terms of just.
I'm not going to get into all of that. Practices are what it is. We run up and down, we break down defenses, we break our offense down. It's practice is just what it is. It's every day we try to go at it. Now, the day before the game, I don't normally go as 3 hours. I don't normally do that because I like for them to have their legs. But it was a lot of skull session going on, a lot of teaching, things of that nature that we wanted to get in, and we were able to get it in. And it took us 3 hours to do it.
Zach.
Hey, Mike, I don't know if there is much of an update, but I think you said either after Wisconsin or after Penn State, you felt like it might still be a little while before we see X or Rice back. Just where are those two guys? I recognize it's 2 different injuries, so they're probably on 2 different timelines, but where are those 2 guys in terms of their recovery and getting back to games?
Well, again, I haven't, I talk to Tim every day, and the bottom line is they're not on the basketball floor. They're in rehab. They basically are in the training room doing rehab. And, I don't go in the training room and inquire about what they're doing or get involved. That's not my expertise. And so when Tim tells me they're ready to get back out on the floor, then I'll let you guys know. But that's not anytime soon, I don't think.
Wilson.
Mike, also have a question about X. Just with him being out, how have you seen him able to contribute without being on the floor, be it mentally from a leadership perspective, anything like that?
That's a great question because I think X sees a lot more now than he's ever saw, by sitting over there watching just like I have to watch doing practice and games. And he kind of understands. He made that statement last week. Wow, I see what you mean, coach. A lot of the shit that you were getting on me about that's not being done. You get a better view of it when your ass is sitting over there on the bench watching what's going on the floor. So in that regard, he's been great because he's been able to kind of help, Jalen and some of the younger guys on some of the things that he sees that I see, So, it's in that regard, it's been great, I think. I need him back in the uniform, though, as quickly as possible, though.
Schumann.
Yeah, Coach, Illinois got off to a little bit of or had a rough patch there, but they've won 4 in a row. What have you noticed from them in these last 4 games where they've kind of turned a corner and started playing better?
Well, their defense has picked up. I thought, watching the Minnesota game play last night, they kind of got after him from a defensive standpoint. And when you turn it over, they make you pay because they get the ball up and down the floor. They got a nice mixture of guys. They don't have Big Kofi, but the big fella that's playing inside for them is playing well for them. And he does a lot of nice things from a low post standpoint. So Trace, has got to come ready to play. But I like their team. I think they're well coached and, they're playing at home. They went out on the road, which, they hadn't won a lot out on the road like that. And so that was a big win for them last night. So they coming in 4-game winning streak, feeling pretty good about themselves.
Tom.
Mike, when you prepare for a road game like this, are there any specific things that you maybe try to focus on with these guys more than others when it's on the road in regards to dealing something and getting off to good starts and such, or is every game the same in regards to preparation?
Well, again, I thought our last 2 road games, we got off to a decent start. Even the Penn State game, I thought it was, back and forth and then, eventually they just smacked us and we didn't answer the bell. The main thing is just staying within what we do and playing hard. That's the biggest key on the road. And like I said earlier, you have to defend and rebound the ball, and you can't gift them points. It's hard enough playing on the road, but you go out on the road and you throw the ball all over the gym and give them easy opportunities to score. That defeats what your defense is all about. Your offense is all about, rather, because it puts so much pressure on you, to get stops every time down the floor, man. That's tough when you're playing on the road. So your offense has got to be sufficient somewhat to the point where you're not turning it over, where you're getting some good shots and good looks. But defensive rebounding has got to be a must.
Last question, Tyler.
It seems like Malik has kind of been more comfortable the last few games. What have you seen out of his development? I guess, are you kind of encouraged with things that he's doing in practice, kind of, or in games?
Well, he's playing harder. I thought the Wisconsin game is probably as hard as he's played all year, really. And that's a big part of, I think once he figures out how to play hard all the time, then I think basketball will start to come easy for him because he is talented and he does a lot of good things on the offensive end. But I thought defensively the other night, he really was trying to make a conscious effort to move his feet and do some of the things that we've been asking him to do with some force. And, we're going to need him, man, because I think he's such a talented kid. I thought Logan came in and gave us some positive minutes, the 3-4 minutes that he played. So, my thing is when we're playing bigger teams, I gotta test Logan and Malik a little bit more and just see where they are.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, guys.
Thank you as always, Coach.